Okay, she's recording. All right, so I want to say thanks first off for jumping on. I know you guys are busy. We were just talking about how much we all have families now and craziness and full-time jobs, and you guys work a lot. So I appreciate you guys being on here with me. I'm going to do my little spiel here, but
No problem.
Yeah, thanks again for everyone that's watching the Voyage Outdoor podcast. This is episode 4 now. And I got some pretty special guests on, Patrick and Chris Sneeders. They're both brothers. So they've been hunting for a long time. I've known them for quite a while now. And so I'm excited to talk to you guys, and just kind of bullshit about some things in the hunting world because you guys have done a ton. And you guys also are part of Huntline. They have a YouTube channel as well, which I'll put in the description as well. Go check them out. Really good quality videos, honestly. They do a really good job. And even Patrick and I talked about that the other day, that they're wanting to do more in 2022. So yeah, go check them out. They're pretty awesome videos and good content. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. So Patrick, I told Chris that the first thing I'm going to do is rapid fire questions to get you going. Okay. And you got to choose one or the other. I'm just going to say, Patrick, you can go first. Chris, you can go second, whatever. And I'm just going to go, okay. Hunting out of a blind or a hang on? And it can be redneck blinds, ground blinds, whatever, or a hang on.
I would say hunting out of a redneck blind.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Chris?
Oh, okay. So we're going back and forth. I would say from filming purposes, redneck. Well, from camaraderie, having a cameraman, redneck. From an actual hunting standpoint of being in the action, seeing everything, killing a deer, hang on.
Yeah. I'm going to go hang on. Yeah. Yeah. I like that too. And I like double hang-ons too, which for filming, is a little tough, but yeah, I agree on that. Hang on. All right. YouTube or outdoor channel? For hunting.
I'm going to go YouTube.
Okay.
Just for the smaller guys like us. I enjoy seeing what they're doing. YouTube.
Agreed.
YouTube for sure for me. You don't get bogged down with all the products when you're trying to watch a hunt.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, do you guys even watch the outdoor channel anymore?
Not too much. Watch a little bit of Midwest Whitetail, like Bill Winky stuff, and other than that, nope.
Yeah.
No, I don't even get the channel anymore, so I don't. Not an option.
Yeah, Midwest Whitetail. I watch them on YouTube as well. They got great. They post pretty much all their stuff there as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, whitetail or turkey hunting?
Whitetail for me. Love turkey hunting, but whitetail is definitely my passion.
Yeah.
Whitetail as well. Yep. I enjoy turkey hunting a lot, but whitetail hunting.
And I figured that, but the other day I listened to Working Class Bow Hunter, their podcast with Mark Jury, and Mark Jury said his favorite thing is turkey hunting.
Mm-hmm.
That blew my mind. Did you guys know that before?
Yeah,
that,
especially just having successful whitetail show. It's crazy that he's all into the turkey hunting, but
yeah, he says Ireland, or I want to say Ireland, is got like some of the best turkey hunting in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that about Mark and kind of how he brought up as a, national turkey calling champion. And that's kind of how he got in his roots into the hunting industry. But it's very interesting that he still enjoys, a good old fashioned turkey hunt more than chasing and shooting those 200-inch deer.
I know. I thought it was crazy when I heard it, but he said Ireland's prime turkey hunting is apparently during the rut in here. So like if that wasn't a thing, then he would be over there turkey hunting, which is crazy. But I want to say it's Ireland. I don't know. I might be wrong. All right, get back to the rapid fire here. Hunting alone or hunting with somebody? And you're not filming.
Man, I don't know. That's tough. I definitely enjoy the solo hunts, just taking everything in, but it's also pretty cool to experience a successful hunt when you got somebody, brother, close friend or something like that with you. I don't know. I feel like both have their positives. So I don't know. That's tough, but I'm gonna go with a good buddy or brother, family member.
Yeah. I'll always choose somebody to go with me.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree more. I love it. Sharing that moment is fun, but by yourself is amazing because like the time yourself. But dude, with somebody when they get to share it with you, oh, so much better. It's such a good time, and because, they get to live that. All right, back to that. Well, this one I figured is a no brainer, but I'm still going to ask you, would you rather go rifle hunting or bow hunting?
Bow hunting for me.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah, that one was a no brainer. All right. This one is another no brainer, but sometimes I got to ask, people like it public or private?
Private.
Yeah, private for me as well. If you have access to good private, it's really tough to beat.
Now, have you guys ever hunted public land or tried that out? Have you guys ever done that?
I'll let you go first, Patrick.
Yeah, I have just a little bit. Just our hunting trips, as you know, Seth. We take one a year.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's about the extent of my hunting. So I don't get into it and do all the scouting and all that stuff on public. So
yeah,
experience, but not much.
Yeah, I have experience whenever I was younger in my early teens, didn't have access to a lot of private, and me and my dad hunted public quite a bit. And it was definitely a challenge and frustrating at the same time, but very rewarding whenever it worked out and you've seen a deer.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I mean, the hunting public has blown up public land, and they made it popular. They made it cool. That's why I ask. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, if it gets more guys into going on public, and I know they do hunt a lot in Iowa, which it helps. I mean, let's all be honest. But they go travel, man. They kill everywhere they go. They do the public land challenge. I know they did in like Pennsylvania or somewhere, but that stuff, man, they kill everywhere. So hats off to them for that. But you guys watch them at all?
I do. I follow them on Facebook, just their clips. I don't follow them real close, but I do watch some of their videos. Yeah, I mean they're interesting guys. I mean they put a ton of time into it just to kill. I mean sometimes they're only killing 80 or 100-inch deer, but the amount of time they put into it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I follow them pretty close, and learn a lot from, sneaking into the bedrooms of bucks, and getting really close, and, the thought process of, all these bucks are moving in daylight. They're just not moving far from their beds, and getting in there real tight to them is very interesting. And, but I follow them pretty close.
Yeah, that's a good concept. I mean, I watch them as well, very closely. And I mean, a lot of things that they've kind of exposed is I think with public land is two things. They've exposed the fact that if you got to go places where other guys aren't going to go, because they got boats, they're putting boats in. They're traveling in the morning at 3 a.m. all the way across the lake to get to a spot no one's at. They've exposed that, which we all thought that'd be true, but it is very true. I mean, it's just crazy. They go to the extreme measures. And then also they're just very good at like you said, find those. Like there was a time they killed 140-inch deer recently, I want to say, and it was people were driving by them on the road, access road, and they were in their stand and they shot that buck, and it was really close. So they just have a good understanding of public land and where people aren't. It's just crazy. Even got me to hunt public. If anybody's watching, I'll give up the spot up in Clinton, dude, Missouri. There's like 28,000 acres there next to Truman. It's amazing hunting, amazing public land hunting. It's a hidden gem. I mean, there's 28,000 acres, so there's so much room. You got Truman Lake. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that place or been there, but it's really good hunting, really good spot. But all right, yeah, back to the last rapid fire question: Bass Pro or Cabela's?
Bass Pro for me. I've never really shopped at a Cabela's, so I'm gonna stick with the trusty old Bass Pro.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they bought each other, but it's whatever.
Right.
Bass Pro bought them, but
no preference. Doesn't matter. Whichever one's on my way to where I'm going.
All right, then I'm gonna ask you this. This is gonna be a different question. What camo are you guys like loyal to a camo brand? And if you're not, you're not. But are you loyal at all to anybody? Really?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So you guys aren't like brand freaks where you're like, I gotta have all.
I'm I'm on the budget brand. I would love to stick with one brand and be consistent, but I kind of just hunt for them deals whenever stuff's on sale. And buy stuff. Yeah,
we both got a set of Kuyu, but if you're looking to have a set of Kuyu for every season of the warm, a little bit colder, and real cold, that's going to run you several $1,000s. And stuff's expensive, so
for sure. Yeah, I remortgaged my home to get Sitka gear. So
Yeah.
yeah, that stuff's expensive. Like, but that's all the rapid fire questions. I know we didn't really rapid fire them, but all right, I'm going to ask you the first thing. So with 2022, what's the biggest goals that you guys, or what's any goals you guys have for hunting, Huntline, things you want to do in 2022, anything new, any deer, like hit list deer you have that you didn't shoot this year that you know is just going to be an absolute stud, any new trips, things like that.
Go ahead, Pat.
Chris, you want to go?
I'll just let you answer first and everything.
Yeah, I would say, obviously, first and foremost, just killing mature deer on film is, the goal.
Yeah.
I think I'll have a
Good goal.
Kansas bow tag this year. Chris will have a Kansas bow tag. I think Dad and Tim will both have Iowa tags. So we should have a lot of opportunities, for some good hunts and to kill some mature deer. And there should be some mature deer on both farms. So other than that, new trips, I don't think we'll have any new trips or anything like that. Same old, same old. But yeah, my answer is just killing mature deer on film, at least 3 or 4. That would be the goal. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
Yeah. Lofty, but it's a good one.
Yeah. Set the bar.
Kind of the same goal. My own personal goal though is with a draw system, hoping my dad gets a tag up in Iowa. And if he does, I'd love to see him shoot, a real good deer. He's hunted a lot, he's got me and Patrick into it. He's the reason why we have a lot of places to hunt. He started from a young age and developed relationships, and we kind of just continued with him. So I'd love to film him, and be in the blind with him to shoot a real good deer. So that's kind of my goal going into 2022. If I could pick one hunt that we were to be successful on, it would be that one.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Actually, one of my favorite Huntline videos is your dad going up to Iowa. I want to say it's Iowa by himself. Honestly, I watched that before I started filming hunts, and I didn't understand it until now. But I honestly think that is, I couldn't believe how well of a job he did at filming everything. He talked through everything. He got in the stand. He got it on film. Like it was, I thought.
So what you don't know behind the scenes is when he did kill his deer, he had the camera bungee strapped to the stand.
Oh.
He didn't know how to put the camera arm up. So it was pointing straight ahead, and that's the only spot it was pointing. But he got that deer to walk right in front of him. So
it did. That's so crazy. So he didn't have like an arm or anything. He just strapped that bad boy on there.
No, he did have an arm. We spent the night before he went up there at my house for an hour going over how to put the arm on a tree and, the setup and everything and plugging in the remote control. And he got up there, and every time he hunted, which, he's not familiar with it. So it was a lot to ask for him. And so he went with just zip tying it and bungee strapping it to the side of the stand and hitting on where he had encounters. And it worked out. For what he was doing. It worked out great.
Honestly, I had so much appreciation for that video. I was like, I don't know, Scurvy just put on a hell of a hunt. He got it all on film. Like I was just so impressed, and I knew he was by himself. You could tell in that video, like he's by himself. Like
you can tell in the video.
Yeah, honestly, one of my favorite videos by far. Just knowing him, and then knowing like he went out of his way to do that. Like you could tell that. I mean, I haven't seen any other videos of him like filming himself doing that. And,
never filmed himself.
Boy, what an experience. Was he more addicted to like maybe filming, or was he like, that's enough of that after that? Or was he like, I need someone with me? Or was he like, man, that was cool, or what?
I think he enjoyed it. I think he'll pick one of us to go with him so we can film it, do a little better high quality and help him drag the deer out every time. But he did a great job for what he was working with up there. Hunting the rut, self-filming whenever deer are moving is hard enough whenever you're experienced. So for him to actually get the footage and the kill shot is pretty incredible with what he was working with.
Yeah, that was awesome. I didn't realize it was the rut. I guess I kind of forgot that, but that's incredible. Next time I see him, I'm going to tell him I thought that was pretty awesome. So, and bringing it back to 2022 goals or whatever we were talking about, obviously Chris mentioned his dad, Patrick didn't. So I'm assuming he's the favorite son. But nice move, Pat. But yeah, so the Iowa tags, you guys put in for those every year, correct? Are you guys consistently getting them every 4 years? Is that kind of the how it works? I mean, have you guys drawn every 1 year and then 2 years later, or back to back? Has that happened?
So the unit we put in for, where Tim owns the farm, is it's really there. Probably about 5-6 years ago, you could get drawn with 3 points, and now it's up to 4 points. You have to have 4. So yeah.
I want to say sometimes it's 5 too, right? I'm pretty sure somebody had 4 and did not get drawn like 2 years ago or something. But yeah, 4. I mean, 4 is the magic number.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I've never put in for Iowa. I might start doing it. I don't know, just to go up there and hunt a public ground one time, do some filming now that we film. But I know it's tough. They got great deer though. Do you guys hunt private private property up there, or do you guys go hunt any public at all?
Private.
Yeah. Pretty good farm. Do they let you manage it? They let you go up there and do food plots, all that jazz? Yeah.
So Tim Barnhart owns it, and
he owns it.
Yeah, it's kind of a group effort. We all go up and put food plots in together, kind of throughout the course of the year. And he's pieced some smaller farms together, and now he's got a good sized chunk that holds a lot of deer, and we can manage it fairly well. It's still, it's never enough. You got neighbors, on the fence lines shooting some good 3 and 4 year olds, so it's never enough. But he's got a good chunk, and we can definitely help it managing, and planting a lot of food, and it's just all a group effort.
Yeah. This is one of my questions, so I'll bring it up now. What is your guys' go-to, I would say, early season food seeds, and then also some late season that you guys are like, if I had to only plant one early season, one late season, these are the 2 things I would plant?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Early season, I mean, I feel like on all the stuff that we're kind of managing, I feel like wheat and turnips is kind of a go-to for us. Every farm I think has some kind of crop lease where we're getting some grain in there, some corn or beans, and that such. But other than wheat and turnips, I don't think we really plant too much other than that, do we, Chris?
We got some small clover plots, which I'm hoping to develop into bigger clover plots, because honestly, if I had to pick for early season, if I could have a good clover plot, I would pick it. But for late season, it's turnips. A lot of the farms that we're hunting have, a high deer density. So whenever we plant grains, they tend to get wiped out very quickly. So turnips, we've kind of found, creates the most tonnage, that'll be a food source for the longest. Mm-hmm. And something we've actually started doing, I think this will be year 3 or 4 that we've been doing, is we've been planting something called buckwheat with our turnips. So it's a little bit bigger seed, and it's a variation of wheat, but it comes up early, and the deer actually like to eat it more early season, and then it dies off after the first frost. So it kind of takes some pressure off your turnips. Whenever you plant them together, they'll kind of go through and eat the buckwheat, because the turnips aren't frozen and aren't sweet yet. But then once it freezes, they're kind of gone, and then you got the turnips. So it's kind of an all-in-one plot that we found.
That's a pretty good idea, actually. Kind of helps with those turnips. We make stuff with our turnips as well, but trying to help with that. But I'll try it.
What do you guys mix? I'm curious.
So we mix some horseradish in there, which I don't know if that really makes a big difference for the deer, but there's some clovers that we mix in, some late season clovers. I have to look at their what clover that I want to say. The clover with a little bit of purple on the top, or purple on the stem. But we mix clovers in, horseradishes. Now, I would say the best thing we've ever done as far as food, and this was by accident, was my dad, for the cows' sake, he wanted to no-till clover in the entire farm 1 year in the spring, because you can rent from the USDA a no-till drill for it's like $15 an acre, minimum 10 acres. He rented it 1 year and no-tilled clover in. I think it was I would say 150 acres worth. And that was the most, I would say, early season bucks. You talk about clover in early season. There was a ton more activity just across the farm with that no-till clover. So I think my plan going forward is to rent or buy a no-till drill and start doing more clover no-till, because I mean no-till's easy. It's quicker. It's fast. You can no-till the whole farm. It gets a little choked out by fescue, but it works pretty good. I thought that was the biggest win we've ever had as far as food plots. But and then the biggest loss is when you start something. I want to, just for anybody, you guys probably know this, but when you buy bags of like mixed seed, right? I've noticed is 60% of it's like inert matter. And I remember early on buying those bags, and they had some big, buck on them, and they had I remember Imperial seed probably was what it was. It's 60% of that's like inert matter. And I didn't realize that till like 4 years into planting stuff. So we buy straight clover seed, straight turnips, straight everything, Milo, all that from, like the Deacons over near us. But yeah, that was probably the biggest dumb bonehead move. I never read the bag, it was like 60%. I don't know if you guys probably knew that. And I just, for all those years I did that, it was just dumb. But
yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that I knew that, but we buy everything kind of straight from grain bins as well.
Only way to go.
Now I kind of will so I said, turnips for late season, clover for early season, but I've kind of thought about it a little bit more. And, thinking back, at one point, the Iowa farm was rented out in alfalfa. So there was 40 some acres of alfalfa on it. And I'll say that was probably, holding the most deer whenever, there was that bigger crop with alfalfa. A lot of times you can't plant that as a small food plot because also it's expensive. And it's kind of tough to maintain, but if you can get alfalfa established, it's pretty good. And then late season, we found corn works the best, of course, but that's only if you can keep it till late season. So we've tried fencing it off, and we've had a lot of success fencing, corn plots off, and then opening them up later in the season. And it definitely works. It's just a lot of work, weed eating underneath the fence, or spraying, or running the lines, hammering in posts, deer running through the fence and redoing it. It's
all
a lot
in the
of
middle
work,
of the summer as well.
It can be worth it.
And you're how many hours away from that Iowa farm?
4.5.
3.5.
Oh, that's not bad. So it's just right across. It's right across the border, not too far.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys go through Kirksville to get there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hunted up. Abbott's family has property up there, and I've hunted up there, it's literally Iowa border is the driveway, and then you circle back into Missouri to get in their farm. But I mean, that hunting up there is just, I would say, it's its own. If you have like Major League Baseball and you have minor league baseball, Iowa, Missouri, northern Missouri, I would say is the major league of whitetail hunting. I know there's great hunting everywhere. Illinois is great. Kansas is great. Texas is great. But I just don't think correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's any better hunting than Iowa.
Hard to beat Southern Iowa. Very hard to beat.
But have you guys hunted Texas? Oh, sorry. Have you hunted Texas yet?
I have not.
I haven't either.
No,
be a weird game.
Texas.
Yeah, but what were you gonna say, Chris? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna reaffirm, it's kind of Southern Iowa is kind of the spot to be. From a standpoint, it's really difficult to get tags, so there's not as much hunting pressure, and the genetics, with the amount of food that's up there and the diversity of habitat, it holds a lot of deer, with really big deer.
I couldn't agree. I mean, Illinois is great too, because even that Illinois, Missouri, Iowa border, I mean, Illinois, St. Louis area, killing. I know there was I want to say it was a 200 and higher 200s inch deer killed in the suburbs of St. Louis this year. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But St. Louis, I mean, St. Louis holds the world record, if we're being honest, and it was, dead. But
there's some monster deer in the suburbs of St. Louis. I mean, I got a couple of clients, but one in particular that, he showed me pictures. He's killing 170, 180 inch deer every year he owns like 2 or 3 acres, but there's a guy at the end of his cul-de-sac that owns like 8 or 9 acres. And he just kills a monster deer there every single year.
Yeah, me and Chris were talking before you got on about Seek One. They're my favorite YouTube channel by far. Favorite hunting group to watch. I don't know why. I like watching them. I like the guys on the show, but what they do is insane. They've blown that portion of hunting up, which getting property in St. Louis now is probably extremely hard, let alone I have a friend that lives in Atlanta. He's the one that hunts with me. You guys probably see him on all my videos, the one with the mustache. He lives in Atlanta and he's trying to find property, but every door you knock on, it's like, we have 2 acres and someone's already hunting it. Thank you. But, but yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, I want to try that eventually. I thought about doing a Springfield urban hunt, but you have to have 2 acres to hunt on in Springfield. You can use other properties to conjoin, but you got to get a letter, have all the households sign the letter if you want to conjoin an acre and an acre to hunt on. But it's challenging. So I've thought about it, but it'd be another time, like my time is like you guys got all those. Okay, that's another question. I've always wondered this. You guys have place to hunt in Iowa. So if you have a tag in Iowa, let's pretend you have one in Iowa. You have property to hunt in Missouri. You have a place to hunt in Kansas. Do you split that time in effort when it's the season? Or do you plan out like, I'm going to stick to rut here every year, pretending you have an Iowa tag that year? What do you do?
It's time-wise it's tough, but I would say if we were to have a Iowa tag and a Kansas tag, obviously Missouri kind of comes last.
Oh, okay.
Me and Chris don't really rifle hunt at all anymore. So I would say obviously Kansas, early season, we'd hit that pretty hard and try to get, a deer knocked out and, try to hit the rut up in, Iowa with the bow. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, especially just managing from manage aspects, managing all 3, like there's not enough time. Like we do the best we can do with, the 6 or 7 guys we got and, whatever we get done, we get done.
Yeah. It's really like, there's no set plan, sometimes the deer will dictate where we go. If it's kind of slow in one area, we might hop to the next state, or if there's a big deer in one state that we're chasing, we might stay after him, until he's either shot or gone. So it's really a fluid situation, bouncing back and forth. Nothing set.
With that being said, now we all have kids. Now we all have a wife, all that jazz. All right, walk me through. Now do you guys plan more around them? I mean, did it take time away? Is there a time that you now like probably don't go up there as much or do any of that? And then also, I mean, do you, and I'll ask you a personal question. Do you guys and your wives have a pretty good understanding of like, all right, I'm gonna be gone here. You guys kind of sit down and talk that through? Cause hey, that's a challenge right now for me. Like she doesn't want me going back to Colorado, being away for a week. And I'm like, it's just a week, but yeah, walk me through your guys' path, to success there.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Patrick, you go first. Yeah.
It's definitely a challenge. So I might just invite my wife in here on the Zoom call with me to answer that one. But no, it's she's pretty understanding, and God bless her heart, because without her letting us do that, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do the stuff we do. There's times where, I mean, you kind of know when you're pushing the limits of going, couple weekends, going 2 weekends out of, the month, or 3 weekends out of the month. Because obviously there's a good about 6-week window in there, when there's some really good hunting. So it's tough, but it's just something you just kind of, progress through and, work through, and just kind of your limits. I mean, you can feel when you need to stay home, you need to stay home. So that's my best advice.
Yeah, I will kind of say the same thing. It's and Brooke's really good at it. Because whenever I leave, now we got 2 kids, it's all on her, and sometimes that can be difficult and taxing. And it's really just trying to find that fine line to where we have a good understanding, and where I can ask, and she'll say yes. I never want to ask and her say no. So if I ever read the situation and feel like she's getting pushed too hard, and, because I don't want to put her in a situation to tell me no. So I'll just kind of be like, oh, I'm not going, if I feel like I'm pushing it that hard. And it's difficult, but there's a balance. The other thing that I do is I don't really hunt in Missouri that much anymore. So whenever I'm home, during hunting season and on the weekends, I'm at home. I am, with the family, probably not going out to many, get-togethers or anything. It's all just family time. So not very social.
Twice this year in Missouri, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, I don't think I ever hunted. I had an Iowa shotgun tag. Yes. I hunted with my son the last week of season. I went and sat in a blind with him for 30 minutes. And I think that was actually the only time I had a weapon in Missouri where I was hunting. I filmed my dad opening morning rifle season, and I filmed Sam a couple times. But that's it.
Yeah, that's another part you mentioned of taking your son. I can't wait for that. I mean, I'm obviously enjoying the moments now, but I mean, if there's anything I can't wait for with him, it's going to be golfing and hunting and doing that stuff with me, because I'm excited. I hope he loves it. I mean, he's like, Dad, I'm done with this. I can't go no more. But no, that's exciting that you got to take him hunting is that his first hunt as well?
No, so we went last year. But this, so I've taken him a few times. Whenever I went and filmed Sam, I took Grayson along because we sat in a redneck. So I took him actually twice this year, once in a redneck, and then we sat in a ground blind there at the end of the year. But we got to see some deer up close. He gave a great interview to the camera, kind of what we were doing and everything. And it was pretty good. But he's really good at peer pressure, man. He likes to talk you into shooting them deer. Dad, shoot it. I'm like, well, it's just a spike. There's another one, Dad, shoot it. And it's awesome. I love taking him.
Awesome.
And hopefully, we just get to make more memories, every year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because I feel like my son's going to be, and you guys see all these young kids that kill, like the first time out, kill like 160-inch deer. I hope that doesn't happen to him. I really don't, for his sake of like, if he wants to hunt for 20 years, but it might, they might go out and, hammer one home, so when are you guys what age do you think? Because Chris, you have the oldest son. How old is he now?
He's 3.5. He's going to turn 4 this summer.
When do you think you're going to buy him his first bow? Have you thought about that yet?
Yeah.
Toy bow or anything?
Yeah. So we've had some toy bows. I remember my dad got me one right around whenever I was 4. Nice. And that's actually my first memory of hunting is he took me hunting whenever I was 4, and I shot and missed a deer. It came into like, a doe and a fawn came into like 15 yards, and I shot my like 5-pound little bitty bow and arrow at it. And, it would have bounced off anyway, but of course I missed. And, but that was my first. So I'd say somewhere around that age, I'll buy him a bow just to kind of start practicing. I'd imagine, when he's younger, with the, being legal to take a crossbow, I'd imagine we'll start him on that until he can actually pull enough poundage, to be lethal. Hunting with a compound, I'd imagine we'd start with a crossbow.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea as well. And Patrick, how old's your son now?
He's just turned 1 2 weeks ago. So
I have to say we're pretty fortunate.
Over 1.
That's awesome. I'd say we're pretty fortunate we all had sons first. I couldn't think of a better scenario in the world. I mean, I'd love to have a daughter. I know Chris got that opportunity, but I'm glad I had the son first. And whatever happens, happens. It's like whatever. I don't care what happens now. But all right. So I had a bunch of stuff to talk about, but we're getting fairly far into this, so it's been good. But I'm going to ask you a couple more things. So have you guys been to Colorado? And if not, just elk hunted in general. And have you thought about doing it? Because I went last year, and I'll just say before you answer that it opened up a whole nother chapter to the hunting part of my brain. And I definitely want to go back. It was an awesome experience. Like, I loved it. I can go on for 20 minutes about it. But have you done that yet? And have you thought about doing it?
So I have not. I've definitely thought about it, and talked to like Seth and Caleb, those guys, seeing if they have any interest. And, we're thinking about planning a trip, but we just never got around to it. But I would definitely love to go bow hunting, for elk. And I know Chris has been out there, so he can elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I've never actually hunted. I filmed Sam on a 7-day trip in New Mexico. I think that was maybe 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I'm not really sure. We ended up
guided or not.
Yes, it was guided.
Outfit.
Yep. It was a top of the line place. We stayed in a great camp. But kind of by day 3, I think we were doing more guiding than the guide. And but it was a great experience. It definitely opened up my eyes as well. We ended up killing a cow at like 5 yards. Really cool. I think we might be going back this next year. And I might film. I might see if I can get a tag. We'll see. But it is definitely something that I'll do intermittently, hopefully throughout my life, is going on elk hunting trips, because it is pretty incredible.
That's pretty awesome. Abbott, the one I went with out in Colorado with, he's been on 2 guided ones in New Mexico, and he wants us to start putting in for New Mexico for points, because he went on the same thing. He went on a really good guided hunt, but same kind of thing. They didn't really see a ton of elk. The guys really, I say the guides, they just kind of, showed you around, and, it was kind of, you kind of went and did your thing. But he said the public land next to that outfit had elk on it every day. So he wants us to put in for public land down there. I think I'm going to try to put in for some draw units in Colorado as well. There's some really good ones there. Actually, I found out there's a draw unit in Colorado. I think it's like 27 points to get it. So guys will put in for 27 years. I don't know if you guys heard about that. And then they'll finally get to go, but it's like 12 guys,
Wow.
Big unit. Guys put in their whole lives for that, just waiting to go to that unit. I mean, imagine going there. I mean, I would do anything I could to kill, because if you wait 27 years, but I think the kill rate there is significantly higher, because I know a lot of kill rates are like, 10% is 12% is good, or 15% is good. From what I know, maybe that's bad, but I think those units are over 50%. So,
my dad and all his friends put in, it might have been the same unit, it might have been a different unit, but they had 21 preference points as of, whenever they finally went elk hunting. And I don't know if you remember, Patrick, did they go to New Mexico or somewhere in Colorado?
I think it was Colorado. But
okay,
I think that was, in 2016, I think, when they all went.
Yeah, they had 21 preference points. They went there. They all killed great bulls. I think the littlest one was like 330 inches.
That's a big bull.
And the biggest one was, I think he went 375 or 380. A real big bull.
Yeah,
and that was,
that's a big bull.
And that was a rifle. And that's not the unit they put in for their entire, almost their entire hunting career. But that's kind of what they settled with, because they were all getting old enough where they were worried they weren't going to be able to walk and, experience it quite like they had envisioned when they were 20 years old putting in for the unit. But they had a great trip, and they were all successful.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it was fun. A couple takeaways. I mean, Colorado's tough. Colorado is the most popular place to go. I think I want to venture out to New Mexico, Arizona, Idaho. Idaho is weird. They start their public land tags at midnight, and you got to be the first 15,000 on at the website and buy it. Super weird. I'll probably put in for that next year. I know Jared, my buddy Jared, he's going to Idaho this year. He's going for a whole month of Idaho and Colorado, straight month on vacation, going out there, dedicating all September to Idaho and Colorado. So he says he don't want to be out there the whole month. He wants to kill something soon. But I want to venture out. But Colorado is something. I think, Patrick, I think we should plan something. I know I've got guys wanting to plan something this year, but we need to plan something because it's worth it. My biggest takeaway was the equipment that I bought, because Colorado, we set out for 6 days of not coming back to the truck. So our bags were 55 to 60 pounds, which we wanted them to be like 45 pounds, but it just didn't happen with the full water and stuff like that. But it was something, man. There's a lot. I love the physical aspect of it. And I talked about this on my last podcast with Jared, but it's just a different game, and I loved it. So we definitely need to go out there for sure. So
yeah, I'd love to.
And I was full draw on a bull, so I mean that got the juices flowing. Actually, it was something. But
it's tough.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. But all right, I'll wrap it up. I know you guys want to get probably to bed. You have kids that are ready to go to bed. So, all right, I got a couple more things. So last thing, Patrick, I want you to talk a little bit about the buck you killed this year. Just tell us a little bit about it. I'd love to know if there's any backstory to it, and kind of how that went down.
Yeah, so it's kind of been a group effort. So I'm sure Chris will chime in on this too. But yeah, we've had I think 3 years, of photos of this deer now, and he's kind of done the same thing every year. We don't know where he is summering at. We don't have any pictures of him in the rut, and then about December he would show up every year, and especially the last 2 years. Chris says he thinks he remembers him 3 years ago, but at least the last 2 years. So, me not having an Iowa tag this year, no Kansas tag, that was really the only target buck that was, in my mind that I was going after. So we started running cameras, early season, everything, never, no pictures, no nothing. And then also, I think it was the first week of December, got a picture of him. And then he kind of stayed on that pattern. He was down eating on the turnip food plot down at our lake. Seth, I don't know if you've been down there, but it's maybe an acre, wheat and turnips, coming out every single night, pretty much in the, midnight, 10 o'clock, just where maybe no daylight pictures. So kind of the plan that we would wait until, we got that cold snap, a right wind pushes over the lake and, get a cold snap and, go after him and, give him a, 1 or 2 hunts. And, if we don't get him, we're not going to get him. So
is it your dad's place?
I think it was,
sorry to interrupt. Is that your dad's place?
Yeah. Mom and dad's place.
Okay. I've been to that. Lake. I've been to that lake once or twice.
Yeah, I figured you have.
Memory's fuzzy, but yeah, I've been there. But yeah, okay, continue. Sorry, I was curious when you said that. So
yeah, no. So we waited till that. What was it? What day? I don't know what date that was. Sunday when it got down to like 18 degrees, and we kind of had to figure out with perfect wind. Chris and Dad put up a stand. Was it the day before, Chris?
I think it was actually it was the Wednesday before, and you killed him on a Sunday.
Yeah, Wednesday before, Chris and Dad went down there. They hung up just a ladder stand in a cedar tree that was it's like right off the lake, like 10 feet off the lake. So got a wind that's pushed me over, and he came out at 4 o'clock, and it's the first time I ever laid eyes on him. And he, no daylight pictures, and he looked really big, and he was big.
Yeah, it was a great deer. I remember you sent that photo to the motel group of him at night, and I didn't know why you were sending a picture. So I made the joke. I said he could go another year, that one liner every dumb dad
right.
joke everyone says, right? And then all of a sudden you post on Instagram and that deer, I'm like, oh shit, that's a great deer. Like that was a big deer in that photo. And it's crazy how they look at night photos with that light shining on them. There's nothing right. But yeah, that's a really good deer. I didn't know you killed him at your dad's place. Is it the biggest buck killed off that property, you think?
Yeah, that's by far the biggest deer we killed. The biggest deer I've ever killed in my life too. That deer was
really
158 and 1/8 inches. Yeah.
Wow.
As a 10 pointer, and
that's a good deer.
G4s were only 2 on one side and 3 on the other, so basically 153 inch, 8 pointer.
For the county we hunt in, that's a really good deer. I mean, our county produces great deer, but that's a good deer. That's a really good deer, especially for a 10.
Yeah, for sure.
And where my parents' farm is at, that's the biggest deer by 50 inches that we've ever killed off there. And I haven't shot a deer off that farm since I was 10, my first deer. And because the pressure around it is usually to where, a 3-year-old is an old deer. Mm-hmm. Somehow this buck was making it through every year and lived to be 5 or 6. So it was, we were definitely surprised that he was making it through every year and would show back up.
Yeah, I mean, I go through that at my dad's place. My dad's place, the way the crow flies, is not far at all. Close. Your guys' property goes towards Matt Eichhold's County Road there, and then from there, across the bottoms there, it's probably 5 miles the way crow flies. But same thing, deer surviving past 3 years. That's something around there is because Missouri.
Yeah, around here, just Right. Yeah. And it's just, you just don't see many deer right here around home, Westphalia, Rich Fountain, Osage County in general, you just don't make it past 3.5 years old. So yeah, it's definitely a special deer.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually got a property. So I started knocking on doors. I would say Seek One kind of motivated me to do that. But here in Clever, because I don't have anywhere to hunt down here. I didn't when I moved down here. So I started knocking on doors and I got this property. I think it's a hidden gem. It's 110 acres. Basically, it's one of those properties that the guy didn't take care of it. His dad owned it for 20 years and they let the shrubs grow up. And kind of, it's got like paths all the way through it when they used to be a field, but now it's got shrubs. And, you know, I know that takes away from a lot, but at the same time, it's become this place where there's just tons of deer bedding and there's just crazy thick of deer. And I started hunting that this year. But and same thing, down here, I think is different from back home is there's not as many hunters down here. Not at all. Like in the Springfield area, I would say, no one next to me hunts because I've asked the guy, when I asked him, I knocked on his door, he said, no one's ever asked me to hunt. And I just don't think a property in Osage County where we hunt, it goes unhunted like that. You know what I'm saying? Because probably knock on doors where we're at and they're all hunted, at least rifle hunted, bow hunted. They're all taken up. So have you guys ever door knocked before? Iowa, Kansas, anything like that?
I have not. We've been fortunate enough and, to be hunting with Tim and Sam Barnhart where we haven't done that. But, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. Depending on if we lose access to something or wanting to find new areas.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of interesting. I follow Seek One too, and it's very interesting. And like, it's almost in my head. It's like, that's, quite the challenge, gathering properties like that to hunt and developing a relationship with the homeowner and what to say to make them feel comfortable, with you hunting potentially right behind their house. So it definitely seems like a challenge and sounds kind of exciting.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to do it. I mean, mainly I was like, man, I want to see if I can get just a property to hunt. But yeah, the challenge, of course, I'm going to think that my pitch is probably better than anybody's because I've worked on it for so long. But yeah, I've got a pitch down for it in around this area, and I've got a lot of no's, but I've got a lot of yeses as well. But that property in particular, which if you guys make it down here ever, I'll take you on it. It's an awesome. I got a deer that because Christian County, based on the records, the largest bow kill in Christian County, Missouri, is 157 inches, and I've got a deer this year that he's there. I wouldn't say he's 157 inches, but next year 100% could be the largest bow kill in Christian County. So like that property is going to be my sole focus. I don't know if I'll go home a lot. I saw him January 1st. I shot a buck this year as well, which I didn't post any pictures of because his antler broke off after I shot him, stuff like that. But I saw him at 35 yards this year and couldn't get a shot on him. And he's a great deer. So my focus is just like
that was the same hunt as when you shot your other one too, right?
Would you say that again?
Was you seen that big one, the same hunt you killed yours from? I remember I was talking to you about it.
Yeah. So I had two. So the deer I shot, the reason I shot him is he got hit by a car. Has to be. So I got him on camera. His nose is completely sideways, like it's like this. And then when his antler fell off, he had like pus right here. And I just went and did a European mount on him. And they're not going to be able to attach the antler because it's all caved in right here. And there's a big pus pocket and his nose is all messed up. And that guy, the taxidermist said down here, he said he wasn't going to survive. And that's what I thought initially. So when I saw him, he didn't look good. He was walking, how they got their tongue out. I mean, it was cold that day and he had his tongue out like he was hot, So, I mean, he came to 5 yards. So I shot him. But yeah, that day is the day I saw that buck and I hadn't laid my eyes on him. The homeowner is the one who told me about him. So my homeowner says, I only want to rifle hunt. Well, when I knocked on his door, he said, I'm only rifle hunting for the first time because I got to put a trail camera out. I got this deer and he showed it to me. And it was that deer. And then I'm like, wow, and he's like, you can bow hunt all you want. So he rifle hunted. He gave me that picture. I always had it on my phone. Never had him on camera. Never seen him once. January 1st rolls around. I get in the stand. Don't have my release on. I told you that, Patrick. I just get in. I was lollygagging, not thinking. I turn. He's 35 yards in my only shooting lane. Really only shooting lane. I put my release on. By the time that happened, he was 60 yards and moving through. But he's a good deer. So yeah, same thing. You guys focus is kind of, in Kansas and Iowa and things like that. I think my focus will probably stay down here in this area for sure. So, but all right. Last hard hitting question. This one you can get sentimental. I don't care. You can be as weird as you want, but why do you think you love hunting so much? And Chris, go first.
Oof.
Why? What do you think you love it? Why?
Well, I would say, I was definitely brought up with it. My dad has a passion for it. I've just always had a passion for it. And I've kind of, as I've grown, I've been filming my hunts now for, 10 years. And really that's added an element that I love to the camaraderie of having a cameraman, sharing experience together. Is just truly memorable. So many great memories are made there in the tree or blind when you're with somebody, and then you have that video, you captured it on a video camera. You can always go back and watch it, reminiscent, it's great. And then the passion for the hunting. So I love that social aspect of making those memories. And then now I love growing deer. I love growing deer, increasing their habitat, being able to get them to the next year to see how big they really are. Like, can we increase our property, to hold more deer where this deer does get mature, and how big will he get? So that really is what drives me right now, is just the aspect of growing the deer. And then from a hunting standpoint of just making memories with somebody in the tree, and then capturing the video that I could share to everybody. Whenever my son grows up more, I can show him all these videos instead of me just telling him, I can show him on a TV.
100%. Yeah, I don't want to add on more to that because that was really spot on. But yeah, I mean, the memory thing, the YouTube thing, I don't care how many people watch it and watch this, but you know what? Our sons can watch this. Their dads sit around and talk about hunting. Our grandchildren could watch this. Yeah, same thing. But yeah, Patrick, why do you hunt? Why do you think you love it so much?
Yeah, I mean, and me and Chris being brothers, kind of being brought up through the same system, I guess. A lot of my stuff is the exact same what Chris said. I'm going to piggyback off of it. Just, from my dad getting us started into when we're younger, that obviously helps. You have to have that, you have to have your dad take you out when you're 4, 5, and 6 years old. And, just the adrenaline. I mean, that adrenaline rush is kind of addictive. And that was always kind of, the thing I was, after just, that buck coming in, if you're doe hunting or whatever it may be, but getting that heart racing, getting in kill mode, that's a pretty addictive thing. And now, kind of like Chris said, it's cool to kind of grow the deer, and, deer making it through and seeing what they blow up into. Like, it's super exciting, and it excites you for the next year, and you can't wait for the next year. And, the camaraderie, the guys you get close to and go hunt out there with, I mean, making memories of those guys, like, that's tough to beat. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I could be doing all this stuff myself, and I don't think it'd be as much fun. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother, I got him into bow hunting 4 years ago, and he just went out. I made him go. Well, I didn't make him, but he went out and bought a crossbow just to buy one. First year hunting with a crossbow, shoots probably 125-inch 10 off our property, and immediately said, "I'm going to buy a compound." And he went and bought a Hoyt, bow, and now, dude, he has a cell camera, and it's just daily. I mean, it's just, there's nothing better. If I was doing it by myself, I don't think it'd be as much fun, And then you said that the things that excite you as far as growing deer, I mean, that looking at trail cam pictures and seeing your deer from one year to the next, that's my favorite part by far. And then laying your hands on them eventually is even better. But actually, I think you guys will like this. So I have an analogy that I said one time when I was hunting with my buddy Jared, and I've always believed this. I just never said it, but I feel like, and I didn't play a lot of baseball growing up, but Hickey one time came to me and he said, baseball, it's like when you're playing, you have to kind of be ready, and you have to run scenarios through your mind when the ball's hit to you. That's what he was teaching me how to play softball is what he was doing. We play in a softball league. And he's like, you have to run scenarios through your mind of, okay, if this happens, where am I going to go? If this happens, where am I going to go? This, and this. And then all of a sudden the ball's hit to you. And I was sitting in the deer stand one day. I'm like, that's deer hunting. You sit there and play scenarios through your mind, and it's the quickest it could be. And then all of a sudden, bam, then it's happening, and it could be happening in a way you didn't picture. It's just like baseball. You sit and you wait. It's slow. It's methodical. You run scenarios through your mind all day. You game plan, and then all of a sudden, boom, before you know it, the ball's hit to you. The deer's coming to you. That's always been my analogy. So you can take that.
Yeah.
You can take that,
Pretty
say
good
that,
one.
put it up on a board. Hunting's like baseball. It is. I don't know. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that's kind of how I always thought about it. So,
Well, so I'll add to it. It's, you know, my dad refers to it as, like Patrick said, kill mode. Like, you know, you sit there, you play out all these scenarios, how it's going to happen, all the practice, all the repetition. And all of a sudden, like when that ball's hit to you or when that deer's coming in, it's just, you know, your instinctive nature takes over and all that repetition. It's like, okay, it's time. It's kill mode. Like, here it comes, draw back, hit your anchor point, you know, stop the deer, where to aim, you know, all that, trying to read whether they're going to drop or not. And then getting the job done.
yeah. And that's the hardest part, because if you don't practice, I mean, I've missed a lot of deer because I didn't take shooting my bow as seriously as I have recently. And I noticed a big difference. I mean, I started killing deer, not wounding it. I mean, just a huge, you know, getting the bow out in August, shooting it 5 times, saying, oh, she's still on, and then going hunting in the fall. It's just, it doesn't cut it. So, but all right, I'll wrap this up. I want to say thanks, guys, for coming on. I know you guys are busy. Patrick's doing real estate, and Chris has a newer job. So I really appreciate you guys doing that with your families and stuff. It means a lot. So we'll maybe do one down the road again, maybe do a hunt together. You know what I'm saying? We film something. So, and I'll see you guys soon, of course. So I'll make it home one of these days. I don't make it back very often, but
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Seth, for having us. We appreciate it, and I enjoyed it.
It's been one of my favorites, so I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, guys. So, and good luck to you.
Good
guys.
luck, Seth.
Yeah, appreciate it. You know, tell your families I said hello as well. So,
Will do.
See you
I
guys.
will. Take care of that little one. See you.
Yep. Thanks. See you guys.
See you, Seth.